We are one match beyond the halfway point of the season. Glenn is in London. It is not going well, I can tell you that. But fortunately, the real Ryan is joining us from, I believe he's in Georgia. Hopefully it's better weather down there than it is for us here in the northern part of the East Coast. And we're going to review the last 20 matches, generally speaking. We're going to hand out some meaningless awards. And we'll probably argue with each other a little bit. I don't know. Let's see how it goes. It should be fun. How's it? Welcome into the Loose Cannons mid-season review and award show, the one that everyone has been talking about, everyone is looking forward to, or not, because we just decided to figure this. We just figured this out the other day. Yeah, so not a lot of promotion going on, but we never really promote ourselves here. So anyway, it's going to be really confusing because I have two Ryans with me. I guess we've gone with the OG and the real Ryan. Hopefully you guys know which one is which. I know which one is which. Hopefully everybody knows which one is which. OG, how are you?
Good.
All right, good. Everybody knows who they are. Fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah, do better than Glenn, but I'm excited because I think a lot of things we're going to be talking about. Today, we kind of wanted to talk about on Tuesday, but then Stan and his infinite wizardry got us talking about signings.
Yeah, right.
So kind of got a little off track, but yeah, I'm excited to talk to you guys.
And the real Ryan, how are you, sir?
Good, man. This will be interesting. I know that we had some preseason thoughts on how some things would go, so I'm interested to see how much that's changed so far. So yeah.
Yeah, if I were better on this side of things with production and all that, I there's got to be a way to figure out, like pulling video from a previous show and playing it in here so that we can hear different things, but that entails me cutting and splicing and all this. And
it's a lot of work.
It's not that I don't know if it's a lot of work. I'm somewhat tech savvy, literate, if you will, but I'm not all the way tech savvy and literate like that. So I'm real good at pressing a button, and this happens, and just
it's tech savvy. All right.
I'm good at this part, the talking part. I'm real good at that. So, but anyway, yeah. So first half of the season, I guess we'll start with just I don't know, some general thoughts. I'll go to the OG Ryan first. We sit fourth in the table. We are, I believe we're level on points with Tottenham.
Are we? Oh yeah, goal difference.
Yeah.
Goal difference keeps us ahead of them. Yeah. Match in hand on them as well. So 40 points. We're 5 points off the top. We're 3 points behind Villa with a game in hand and a better goal difference. 3 off of City, no game in hand, and 8 back on goal difference. So OG, fourth place, 40 points, 5 off the top. Overall thoughts so far?
I mean, let's not kid ourselves. We want to be but we're in a title race, and I think there are teams that are kind of coming out of the woodwork that we didn't expect. I don't think we expected Liverpool to be that good, or this good. We knew Villa and Liverpool were going to be kicking about, but I didn't think Liverpool would be top of the table. I didn't think Villa would be ahead of us. But we kind of have ourselves to blame with our last couple performances. But no, I'm not. I don't think I'm as down as most people are. I mean, it's a very frustrating and annoying that we can't put the ball in the back of the net. But I'm definitely optimistic, and with a few things that hopefully got accomplished in Dubai, and maybe even some recalled loans. thinks he's going to run for us. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Real Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. I'm not as nervous as our lovely Arsenal Twitter universe is right now. I think that Arteta wanted to establish more control in games. I think we started to see that. Opta just put out, we have XG wise the best defense, which is great. So I think there's some things that we can fix in Dubai, hopefully. A couple of goals here or there, and I think we're singing a way different tune. And we don't even need to talk about some of the luck that we've had with VAR and whatnot. So hopefully those things come more towards our side in the second half, and then I think we'll ultimately be happy with where we're at. Ryan mentioned Liverpool. Definitely didn't see that. I can't believe they've only lost one game this year, and it was the Tottenham game, which PGMOL has been apologizing for after the game and with seemingly some calls that they've gotten in every game since. But yeah, I feel good, honestly. I'm not worried. The only worrying thing is, I don't like the idea that we have to chase, but I think maybe that is better for us than having the lead like we did last year. So I don't know.
I think I brought this up the other day or last week. I actually kind of like that we're chasing.
Okay.
I think last year being at the top, having the cushion that we had, I think a little, I don't want to necessarily say that a little bit of complacency kind of seeped in to things. I kind of like where we are right now because we're basically 2 games behind Liverpool right now. We have to make up 2 games on them. Fortunately, we get one in a couple of weeks,
right?
3 weeks, give or take. But I
like Salah.
What's that?
I said hopefully without Salah. Whether he's at AFCON or his injury, he got hurt today.
I did hear he was injured. Yeah. Okay.
Hamstring didn't look good, but I mean hamstrings are funky. He could be back next game.
Right. No, I kind of like being the hunter. I don't like being the hunted. And I didn't like being at the I didn't like us being at the top last year because I didn't think we were ready for it. I didn't think that this squad, last year's squad, was ready for that kind of pressure. And I don't think right now, I don't know that there's any pressure on us right now. I don't know that anybody thinks we can really chase down City or Liverpool. And I'm not saying that I think we 100% can. We can. But it's going to be tough. But I kind of like this sort of, okay, we're running at a decent pace right now. And hopefully we find our stride starting Saturday morning. Hopefully Glenn, shout out, brings us some luck being over there. I hope he sees a 5-banger, man. I really do. I hope we put 5 past him and he just loses his mind. Enough on that. I'm going to go off on a tangent if I say any more. But
I quickly want to ask you guys this question because I'm curious what people think. Would you rather us put in an amazing performance, dominate, and play dominating football like we've been doing and win like 1-0? Or do you want to see us like get like 3 penalties, 2 bouncing off our ass cheeks into the net and win like 5-0?
I mean, I want the performance. That I need to see that after Dubai. I need to see that maybe some things have been, we talked about this before. We said we feel very choreographed. So I'd love to see some new patterns of play. I'd like to see some different things. Hopefully that's what I want to see. Obviously, I want the goals because that's what we've all been waiting for. But I would like to see a good performance, and then I'll feel comfortable about what we have in store for the rest of the season.
I see what you did there, OG. You some bitch.
What'd I do?
Well, it's like one or the other. You can't get both. You can't get the performance and the 5 goals. It's got to be the performance with 1
that's
goal.
Why I proposed the question.
Yeah, I know. I hate your face right now. I'm gonna go the opposite. I want the goals, and I'll tell you why. I want the goals I'm hopeful. I'll say this: if there a couple of penalties, 3 penalties, whatever, I would like to think that we earned them, that they're not disputable, they're not up in the air, could have gone either way.
Let's say they are disputable and they are up in the air.
Then I'll take the approach of, you know what? The Lady Luck is kissing our ass today.
Okay.
Lady Luck is on our side today. The ball off the ass cheek that goes in. That's a bounce that we haven't gotten all season long, right? Finally, we get the bounces that are going our way. Finally, VAR is siding with us for once, you know, and not screwing us over, whatever the case may be. But the biggest thing, and even if every goal could be disputed, even if every goal somebody says, you know, there's no way, that's not handball. And it's not handball. We look at it, we're like, ugh, okay, got away with one. Don't care. I want the goals because we are behind City by 8 and Liverpool by I want to say 6. So I mean, I say this every year. No, it's their level on goal difference. It's 8 for both. They're both on plus 25. I say this every year. Eventually, the goal difference is going. We're going to have to look at goal difference and start like we're winning 3-0 with 5 games to go, and we're right in the thick of the title race. We're a point, 2 points off it, and we're only 3 goals behind on goal difference. Go get the goals.
Yeah.
Keep going. Stop taking your foot off the gas. And this team, for years, has done that. They get up 2-0 in the first half, and they make it comfortable in the second. It's not our job to stop scoring goals. I'll never forget this. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. I'll never forget this. Patriots are playing the Dolphins in Miami, and they are beating the absolute tar out of the Miami Dolphins. It's got to be 45-3. Belichick, they scored 14 more points in the fourth quarter. Belichick was asked after the game about running up the score. He said, not our job to stop scoring points. It's their job to stop us. We're not going to stop ourselves. That's the mentality that I want to see in this team. But the goals, I want the goals. And that's why I do look at goal difference, and I do pay attention to it throughout the year. But obviously, to say you want the performance is absolutely, it's going to make you feel infinitely better about things going forward. So I don't disagree with the performance thing. I want to see both, but Ryan made me have to choose between the two. I'll take the goals. You take the performance. Shit in one hand, wish in the other. See which one fills up first.
Right.
Any other questions? That was good, Ryan. I like that. OG, that was good.
I just thought that was an interesting question.
Yeah, it's a very interesting question.
I want the goals, by the way, in case anyone cares. Main
Answer your own question.
Main reason is I think we're going to put in a performance regardless against Liverpool. I think we're going to play really good football. We played them, twice already this season, and I think we were the better team. We should have won probably both games. I don't see that changing. So I think we just need the confidence of scoring goals. So if they roll off our ass cheek, roll off our calf, whatever, a header that just hits our face and goes in, it's fine. I don't know how I feel about all penalties, but I want the goals. I don't really care about goal. I know you're all like, oh, it's gonna matter, goal differential, whatever. No, I don't care. I think the goals are gonna come. The goal differential is gonna come, but I'm not worried about a goal differential, at least for right now. I know I'm gonna eat those words later on in the season, and Tanner's gonna say, "Big, I told you so." But yeah, no, it's just at this point, it's just putting the ball in the back of the net, gaining confidence, putting the ball in the back of the net. Because the performances are going to come. I'm not worried about that from our 11 players on the pitch. Not at all.
That's a good point because, right, to be fair, we've had performances that have been good, but we haven't had anything to show for them. So I take your guys' point because, I mean, in most of the games except for Fulham, right, like we've played well.
I think we dominate every game except Fulham,
yeah.
in my opinion. We're close to dominating.
Point. Yeah.
I mean, we really have. I'm scrolling back through results right now. There are a couple of games that really, really stand out to me. In the league. And the first one, well, the first two matches of the season, really. Forest, we win 2-1. And the W is great. And it's the first match of the season, and I get it. But we should have buried them. There's a game that should have been 3 or 4-0. The second match of the season is Fulham. No, third match of the season is Fulham. Yes, third match of the season, Fulham. And we're up 2-0 in that game, and we let them back to the point of a draw. We've dropped 5 points to Fulham this year.
Yeah.
That is
it hurts.
a game that you look back on and you say, or 2 games that you look back, 5 points. If we win both of those games, we're top of the league, or at the very least level on points, right? So, every team has these matches. I will say that City's kryptonite is Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace go to the Etihad and get a result. Well, it seems like almost every season. 2-2 draw with the shitbags.
Yeah.
In the neighborhood. It's kind of one that I look like. I was there. We're up 1-0. 5 minutes later, it's 1-1. Then we go up 2-1, and then 30 seconds later, we concede again. It's like, can't have this, guys. Can't have this. Overall, I think I'm looking through was Chelsea. First half against Chelsea was awful.
Horrible.
Awful. And then we turn it on and this is, to me, it's the what do we do when we really put our foot on the gas? What do we do when we really just bear down and say, I'm through playing games now? And that was the Chelsea game. That was the Chelsea game. The Fulham match at home was the exact opposite of that. We started with our foot on their throats, and then we started to feel bad for them, and we let them back in the game. So I think let me I guess we kind of did this on Tuesday. No, when did we do it? Did we do it last week? Kind of the headline of the season so far.
All these shows blend together. I couldn't tell.
That
you.
was
No, it was last week. It was
last week. So real Ryan, did you give us a headline?
I think it was just me and Glenn. I think.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you jumped in late. So give me, if you can, right off the top of your head here, give me a headline for the season for this point of the season so far. Mine, I'm trying to stall to give you a minute to think.
Yeah. I need it.
But mine was opportunities missed.
Yeah.
Ryan, yours was something like imagine something. I should have written this down. See, again, wish I could cut and splice videos. It was stop think like when is too much tinkering? When is too much tinkering too much or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
When does it become too much tinkering?
Yeah.
Mine is something to the effect of, more control, but at what cost? And I just think that the reason why we don't go hell for leather is because Arteta doesn't want the game to turn into something that he doesn't feel like he can have his, foot on the throat of. It feels like that's how we've been. I don't remember. I guess I'm trying to think back to what made him think this way, because I know we've talked about this before. Like, I kind of want us to be a little bit more risky, and we don't do that unless we're chasing or we have to go after a game, and then we see it. Because you mentioned Chelsea, that's exactly what happened. Once we turned it on, we scored 2 goals. So, and we could have won the game if there was a couple more minutes left in that game, we would have won. And we always say, well, why didn't we do this earlier? Why didn't we do this earlier? And I think just because when we're so desperate, we're just saying screw it. Like, we got to go for it. We got to make the risky pass or the risky ball or the play we wouldn't normally do when the game state is neutral or we're up 1. I think we played differently, and I agree with you. I want us to do the things that we know we can do, but not always have game state be a part of it. Now, of course, we don't want to let teams back in the game when we have a 3-0 lead. I'm not saying let's go crazy the entire time, but we've seen it time and time again, a 1-0 or even a 2-0. in this league, a lot of things can change. And for instance, the Brighton game, one of the best games we've played this season. It was 1-0. Pascal Gross almost made it 1-1 in like the 86th. Havertz comes, scores, makes it 2-0. Okay, we're safe. But there was a yard that would have made that game 1-1. You know, so it's just like, and we should have battered them. That could have been a 4-5, you know, but and this is your guys' point. So for me, it's yes, we got the control, but like at what cost? Like the margins are so thin that 1-0 or 2-0 is fine, but like they can change so quickly. So that's what I'm more worried about. I don't want that to continue. I like the control. I like being able to suffocate teams. I like our defense. I like that. There's a lot of these games against these good teams, we've given them nothing. Like Newcastle, we gave them nothing. Like Villa, like we really controlled these games, but we didn't get the result. Right. So we'll see. And that's why I'm saying, like, let's see what happens, you know, in Dubai, if we do anything different or whatever, or even it's just a mindset thing. So that's where I'm at with the kind of the headline so far and just how I think about our team.
Yeah, I mean, the overarching, I think, you know, thought process for most of us, and when I say us, I mean the three of us, folks in the chat, folks on, I think any reasonable, rational Arsenal fan can look at the first half of this season and say, we've done a lot of really good things. And by and large, the majority of the things we've done, the majority of the way that we've played has been exactly what we want to do. I mean, even the City game at home, I'm going to stop short of saying we dominated that game, but we were the better team. Overall, over the course of 100 minutes, we were the better side in that game, and we were able to get the result. I don't know why against Liverpool, for some reason, we can't. And we've like Ryan, like OG has said, we've been the better team against them in both games this season. Can't get the result. Dominate Newcastle, dominate Villa. But, you know, I mean, Newcastle, I don't even want to go down that road because I just think it's Newcastle is one that we dominated, but at no point did I think we were going to win. After 20 minutes of that game, I was fully expecting a 0-0 draw. So take their goal off the board, but I don't think we score in that game. And that's really kind of where this all started, where the goals really kind of started to dry up. But Aston Villa dominated. Now, their goal, kudos. Good goal. Yeah. But that's the other worrying thing. Demsek was in the chat on Tuesday, and Real Ryan, you weren't here for this. I don't know if you saw the replay or not, but he brought up something about. He said the problem isn't scoring. I'm going to wholeheartedly disagree with this, but I wanted to get to it, and we were trucking along as we do. He said the problem isn't scoring goals. The problem is we can't concede, and I don't want to concede, but if every game's a 0-0 draw, we finish. We are going to the championship on 38 points.
Right.
That's how that works. So you're not going to win if you don't score. But when the goals dry up like this, we have to revert to playing defensively sound football the way that we have for most of the season. I don't know where we stand in terms of I'll say team defense, how people figure out who has the best defense in the league, whether it's just simply goals conceded, if it's something on, XG.
Yeah.
I don't know all of that. I know at one point
we're I think like we're 1 or 2.
Is it XG for us, our expected goals, or our expected goals against?
Against, I think goals against. We're 1.
It's the XG that we're giving up to other teams is number 1. Yeah.
Okay, so we're okay. So let's say we're the best defense. We're the best defensive side in the league, and we can get better. We can get better.
I agree.
And we kind of hit on this Tuesday.
I mean, only Liverpool's conceded less than us. So
how many do you have the numbers in front of you?
We're 20. They've let up 18.
So we really are. We are right on one. We are right on one. They're what? What'd you say?
18.
So we've conceded 2 more than they
Two
have.
more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we really are at 1 goal.
And people could argue
conceding
like
1
those
goal a game.
the Newcastle goal and what was that other the West Ham goal? Like those are 2 goals that I don't want to have a VAR podcast, but those are 2 goals that potentially shouldn't have counted. That
right.
we're stuck at 18 with Liverpool. So
I mean, it's a fair point. So we can even say that if we want to factor VAR into this, we're less. But as much as we all are going to hate to say it, VAR is a factor.
Right.
They are deciding games, and I'll say no more on that side of things. But if we factor it in, then yeah, I think we can say that XG conceded is less than a goal a game, and that's good. But the XG 4, I'd be very curious to see that number right now. So if we've conceded 20, we've scored 37. Yeah. So we're a tick under 2 goals a game, right, average at this point. So that number obviously needs to get better. And I think the scoring thing, really, barring a couple of games in Champions League, which we haven't really even hit on that at all. Champions League, this has been a Premier League review so far, but we look at what we did to Lens 6, what we did to PSV at home 4, but we just can't seem to, for whatever reason, 5 against Sheffield United at home in the league. Okay, that's great, but I think that's it. I think the most that we've scored in the league outside of that is 3. We did that against United. I mean, I'm trying to 4 against the league. 4 against Luton. 3 to Burnley, 5 to Sheffield, 4 to Bournemouth. Okay, and 3 to United. So they're there, but they're there against lesser competition, unfortunately, and we've got to figure it out. If with the domination of possession, and I keep coming back to this because I see a lot of people on Twitter like the domination of possession. It's great. You can have the ball 100% of the game, but if you don't put it in the back of the net, what difference did it make? Now, you have the ball 100% of the time. Well, they didn't score either, but again, you got to score to win. You can't draw every match. So, I don't know. I feel like I'm doing a lot of talking here. What do you guys?
No.
I'm talking more than usual. So, Champions League. I guess let's get that out there. We get through the group fairly easily. I think the away match to Lens in France, second match of the group, was a bit of a wake up call for us. I
said it right after we lost that game. I think it was more for them. It was their first Champions League home match in I think early 90s. It was a long time. It's been a long time. So you knew, and obviously I can't quantitate this and all, but I think any team that played Lens that night was in for, you said that before. I mean, on top of that, we probably weren't ready to be playing, prime Barcelona or prime Real Madrid or prime City. But yeah, they had one goal in mind, and well, they had 2 because they scored 2 on us, but they didn't.
Both are worldies
that day.
Yeah. And I think there's something to be said for that too. You score goals like that, and it's kind of like you. Sometimes the other team scores, you just got to hold your hands up, like they get paid to play too. Yeah. What do you do? So, but I think the group went about as well as could be expected, and I have come around to agreeing with OG that was a night that just. It was just not going to be our night, no matter what. I think they were so amped up. The crowd was so amped up. And I think there was some intimidation there. I think we were intimidated by that crowd, which does worry me going forward in the knockout stages here that I mean, eventually we're going to come up against a side that has a big crowd like that. Bayern Munich, comes to mind immediately.
Yeah.
And how do we deal with that? We are still young and it can be intimidating. So overall, I think the group stage went well. I probably would have liked to have seen a little bit more rotation. I definitely would have liked to have seen Aaron Ramsdale get some more playing time there.
Oh no.
No.
I feel like every time like Raya or Ramsey are mentioned, I just want to just have a huge, just like, oh, let's talk about our goalie situation and let's talk about Ramsey. Let's talk about Raya. Why did we buy Raya? Who's the better keeper? Who should we be playing right now? And it's so annoying.
I don't want to get into.
Why you said it?
I know, and yeah, maybe I shouldn't have brought
circles about that.
Kind of with you on that, like like I gotta shut up. Because otherwise I'm gonna start talking.
Yeah, here comes the tangent.
All right, so let's get to the season award, shall we?
Well done. Yeah, we're on a half hour. So I guess let's start. We'll start negatively. Start negatively. Player that we would like to see a bit less of.
Let's start with.
Oh God.
My answer.
I think you're both gonna laugh at me for my answer.
I have an easy answer. I think my answer is easy, but I don't think you guys are gonna like it.
Oh,
do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go for it.
Saka.
I don't hate that at all. I don't hate that at all.
I think Saka has not had his best football in the last 4 or 5 games.
I think I know, but I think I know why you're saying it. If you're saying it for the reason I think you're saying it, then I agree.
Well, yeah, he just needs a rest. He needs a rest, and I think all roads can't go through Saka if we want to win big trophies. We can't rely on him. He's a world-class player. He's elite. He's young. He's got so much ahead of him. We cannot rely on him to do everything. He can't be like, oh, times are tough. We need a goal. Just give it to Saka. He'll figure it out. I think for a team to tick, we can't do that. He's not the type of player to do that. And I don't want to compare him to Salah. I don't want to compare him to Haaland, but he can be that. He can be a Salah where he can make a couple moves and score a goal or assist a goal. I don't want him to be. I don't want him to be Salah. I don't want him to be Haaland. I want him. I mean, I want him to be a world-class player, which I think he is, but or at least can be for that matter. But I just want more rotation. I want him to kind of get a rest. I want us to be ticking. And again, it all goes back to what Ryan said about choreographing and doing the same thing, having the same game plan for every game. I want to have different looks. I want to look different. I want teams to kind of step back and be kind of like, oh, okay, Saka's not playing. Like, how do we? Because I mean, they're doubling Saka every time, and it's making things harder. And with Ben White, which he's hurt, he's carrying some kind of injury. He's not playing well either. Whether you take this injury, even if he's not hurt, he's not playing well. They're doubling on Saka. Ben White's not really helping him too much either. So we're kind of stuck on that right side. I just want to see. I just want us to not rely on him so much. I want to see different things. But yeah, nothing like terrible. But yeah.
No, I get it. It's a really good point too, quite frankly. Real Ryan?
Yeah, this is an interesting question because we don't rotate enough. So it's just like it's hard for me to say who I don't want to see because the option behind that person like doesn't exist because they're not healthy. So for me, the player who I think makes us play in a different way, but I've been the most frustrated with has been Zinchenko. And I mean, okay, I don't want to see him, but like the alternative is Tommy, who's hurt, or Timber, who's coming back from an ACL. You know what I mean? Like, So it's just like I can say that I want to see less of him, but like the replacement behind him is Kivior, so that's not going to win us any games, so it's just like it's tough. Like that's the person that I've been most frustrated with on just some of the defensive stuff, and I understand like that's what he comes with. I don't know why I'm noticing it a lot more now than maybe I did last year. I don't know if we covered him better, and maybe granted Shaka did cover him better, and I just didn't notice it as much this year with Havertz being the replacement in that position at times. But yeah, I mean, that's what it is for me. But and the unfortunate thing for Arteta is he saw that. That's why he got Timber, and he tore his ACL in the first game. So I can't blame him for it because he saw what was happening and was like, well, let me have a better option, when we need it. But that's who it is for me, sadly, even though I do love him. But yeah,
I had a preseason prediction, and it is I will humbly eat my words for this. But it was just something that it was just a gut feeling that I have at the beginning of the year, and it goes along with a little bit of what you're saying. But I had a prediction that Zinchenko would be sold actually come this summer. And I really thought that it would be because Kivior would move into that role. Ben White, Tomiyasu would basically deputize for Kivior on the left and Timber on the right. And I am obviously incredibly wrong about that.
Usually.
But
sorry. I thought I was muted.
Smart ass. I'm going to do it. I'm going to stir the pot now.
no.
I'm going to stir the pot. And the player that I want to see less of, I'm going to stir the pot. OG, do you have any guesses? I just feel like sometimes you're
stirring the pot, so you're going to say something I'm not going to agree with.
I don't know that you're not going to agree with it. I'm stirring we literally just hinted at this. I want to see less of David Raya.
I knew it.
I want to see less, and here's why.
Here we go.
I said,
You promised.
I know. I said Tuesday. I don't see enough of a difference between he and Ramsdale to say that David Raya is the clear cut.
But that's why Raya's going to. That's why
number one
play. You're answering your own question essentially, like by saying
you mean so there's not enough of a difference for Ramsdale to. But I'm not. Here's my point though. So when he's brought here, Arteta makes the comment about being able to. He regrets not changing the keeper at some point last season, not making a substitution. He wanted to change the keeper in the middle of a game, and he didn't do it. And he regrets that.
I don't really buy that.
Well, and back to OG's point that David Raya was always the first choice. When Arteta took the job, David Raya was Arteta's first choice goalkeeper. That's who he wanted. Couldn't get him. Ramsdale was second choice. Now David Raya becomes available. But I worry what this does to the dressing room and the mentality there, because you now have guys maybe questioning Arteta, saying, but if there's a player out there that he brought me here, but if there's a player out there that he wants, I have no chance of, because Aaron Ramsdale did nothing to lose his job. So to take it back one step before OG, I don't know that Ramsdale did anything to lose his job. I don't know that David Raya did anything to take the number one spot from Ramsdale. And I've seen enough of David Raya this year to say, okay, if Aaron Ramsdale did do something to lose his starting job, David Raya has certainly done enough to lose it too. Ramsdale hasn't done anything worse. I'm not saying Raya has done worse, but Ramsdale didn't do anything worse this year than what David Raya has done. David Raya has had, I'll stop short of saying some howlers, but he has not looked comfortable in 5 or 6 matches that I can recall watching him with the ball, like, squeaky bum. What are you doing? I want to grab him and shake him. So it's not that I want this isn't I'm a Ramsdale guy and I want Ramsdale to play more. This is if you brought him in for competition, then let's have a competition. Don't give me lip service. Don't tell me what it is you think I want to hear. And I'm taking this more from Aaron Ramsdale's point of view. If it's going to be a competition, then okay, let's have a healthy competition. And let's see who earns their spot. David Raya's problem right now is he knows that Aaron Ramsdale is he's not, like, it doesn't really matter right now what David Raya does. David Raya can kick the ball into his own net. He's going to start the next game. And I wholeheartily believe that. I'm exaggerating, but I do.
I know what you're saying, and we get it.
But Aaron Ramsdale isn't going to randomly, and now with no FA Cup, no League Cup, where does he start? Let's talk about the rotation thing, and Bukayo Saka needs a rest, and this. Well, against Crystal Palace, give Aaron Ramsdale the start. We go to Forest, give him a start. Not saying do both, but give him one. Go ahead. Real Ryan, I feel like you're chomping at the bit here.
No, I'm not. I don't really have much to say. Like it's tough. Maybe there's some some hangover on how some things went last year with Ramsdale and how he was really, really in poor form when we needed it the most. I don't know, and I don't know. Maybe he thought then that this doesn't work, but Arteta said I think we just play differently with Ryan, and even Ramsdale had some of the worst PR ever. That we're seeing these interviews that he can't concentrate for a full game. He didn't want to play as high up, and him and Arteta came to an agreement that he just doesn't have to play as high up. He's not comfortable. That's not going to work with Arteta, right? And so he's saying these things, and he's admitting it to us that he was doing things that he felt more comfortable with, not what Arteta wanted. That sealed his fate, in my opinion. Yeah. So and to your point where you have two great goalkeepers, I wonder if Raya would be playing better if just the cloud of, well, if I mess up or if I do whatever, Ramsdale's going to come in. We don't know. Right. We've also seen it both ways where, Ramsdale was in the same position where I don't think he was worried about Turner coming in anytime soon. Right. So he probably got comfy as well. And, maybe did have some lack of form because he's like, oh, well, it wasn't my best game, but hey, Turner's not coming in, so I get both sides. You make a great point because now he can't, it's going to be impossible for them to split time in an equitable manner now with Champions League. And we're chasing Liverpool, we're chasing City. You're right. We might not see him play again. Seriously. So yeah, it's weird, honestly, for everything he did for us, to get us, to where we are, raise the level, all that. So yeah, it's tough. It is. But I see I know you love him, so
and you know what, and I can learn to love David Raya. Here's the thing. And this is all the more I'll say on it because we're gonna move on. But my last thought on this is I don't think you should lose your number one spot in any sport, in any position. If you've done the job well, we didn't lose the league last year because of Aaron Ramsdale. Like, we're not losing games because of Aaron Ramsdale. It's one thing if you're costing your team games. I don't see a game that Aaron Ramsdale costs to the point where I get David Raya has always been Mikel Arteta's number one choice. But you're saying that Aaron Ramsdale, who did the job for you for a whole year, that didn't matter. That didn't matter. I think this guy's better, and he's going to be the guy that plays. And no matter what, he's going to keep his number one job. And I just look at the whole situation and I say, this has I'm playing my favorite written all over it. And I don't like it. You have now, if there's a clear-cut difference between who's better, Play your best player. But I don't see a clear-cut difference, and I just don't agree with it. But for the sake of – and look, we play a little differently with Aaron Ramsdale. Aaron Ramsdale brings something that David Raya doesn't. He brings that personality. He brings that – I'll get flagged for it, but he brings that fuck you attitude on the road. Go to City and give Aaron Ramsdale the number one. Well, he has a number one. Give him the start at City and let him have that attitude. You know, that he had at Tottenham last year when people are trying to run out of the stands to fight him. Let me see that attitude. That brings something in my opinion. But I'm not the manager. We need to move on. So player,
I just want to say one. Say one thing.
No,
I didn't get a chance to say anything.
Let Ryan let him speak. Let him talk.
If you don't know that I'm kidding by now,
I'm gonna pull a Glenn. Give me 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
I wonder how often he says that to his wife.
Well, okay. I'd hope a little more, maybe like 20 seconds. But I agree with everything you said. The only thing I would say is to counter that is I just think I don't want to say really favorites. I just think that I think that Arteta thinks Raya gives us the best chance to win. It doesn't matter what Ramsdale did wrong. It doesn't matter what he did to lose his spot. If Arteta thinks Raya is an upgrade, that's it. That's all you need to know. Because let's face it, was Ramsdale the reason we didn't win? He wasn't. But we're in the Champions League now. We have the potential to do even better than second place. We have the potential of winning the league. So if you could upgrade anything, any position on the pitch, just to make us 1 point better, for 1 minute of one game, you're gonna do it. You're gonna. You both go black on me. I guess it's.
I'm here. I'm here.
I'm kidding. But you're gonna. I guess you know. Fuck it. Then I'm gonna go longer than 10 seconds. Yeah.
You already have.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I get interrupted. What do you want?
I did interrupt.
But yeah, I mean, it's favoritism in the fact that we knew that he wanted Raya from before even Ramsdale. But I just think if you have a chance to upgrade, even for a minute of one game, in this Premier League, that's all it takes. I think you take it. So I understand what's going on. I understand why he's playing. It just sucks because I see myself in Ramsdale as someone who I play with a lot of personality. My own team says it to me. If I didn't play with you on the pitch run, I'd hate you. Yeah, fair. I'm an asshole. I'm an asshole on the field. I talk a lot. I'm obnoxious, kind of like I am here. And now that I'm kind of funny enough transitioning because I'm getting older and my body's falling apart, I'm playing more keeper now. And I'm playing, like last night I played 2 games back to back, tired, but I have that Ramsdale personality and I still play like him. And it sucks to see someone that I kind of can relate to on the field, kind of just getting that bump. For someone he's not younger, but younger, quicker, more handsome. I don't think I don't like Ryan's nose, but that's besides the point.
I don't like Ryan's nose.
Yeah, it's very upturned. I'm not a fan of it. But yeah, no. So I get what Arteta's doing now. Is it going to backfire? That's another question completely. I don't think it's backfired yet. But I mean, you have two goalies that can definitely, that have started in the Premier League. It's going to be interesting to see how we could kind of coddle that and tickle. But yeah.
So player that we want to see less of, player that we would like to see more of.
Oh, mine's easy. I can do it right
now.
Go.
It's ESR. It's ESR.
Yeah,
it just is.
I
had to go first. I had to go first because I knew Ryan was going to take him, but I knew it's so simple. Just because I'm not really in love with our left side right now. I feel like that's where he can get in. I know Kai's been in there. My favorite player Martinelli is just it's just been a little off for him. I think he's just getting frustrated. I don't really know. I feel like he's fit and he's he's moving well, and it's not like he's hurt or anything like that. It's just not clicking. I don't know if he's pressing. But there was I've been seeing on the ITKs on Twitter that, ESR's had a really, really, really good Dubai camp. I don't know if that's true. We'll see.
It's also the same guy that says Timber's coming back in February. So I don't know how much I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not. He's not Mo's not the only person that I saw this come from, but I hope that that's true. We'll see. But like we've always said, like, is Arteta going to trust him to give him a chance?
Right.
That's always been the thing. But that's who I'd love to see instead of looking. I think we have what we need. Especially, I mean, he can score goals too, guys. We've seen it. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that it's him.
And I'm gonna let you go because I want to make this award show kind of hard for me because I don't want to pick any of your answers, and I also don't want to repeat any of my answers in any of the questions. So I kind of know who you're gonna go, but I'm gonna give you guys some layups.
This is a hard one for me.
Well, actually, no. I think
this is the obvious choice. The next obvious choice, and I don't want to do it. The next obvious choice is Reece Nelson. To me, the next obvious choice is Reece Nelson because he brings something. He brings something that nobody else really has, other than Martinelli. And Martinelli, as 3-point sniper has said, and I wasn't ignoring you. I wanted to find a good spot to put the question in. But are we as concerned with Martinelli moving forward? He's looked completely lost against a low block. Maybe more Leo Trossard in Premier League and save his legs for Champions League. But then you back this up 3 points, like running with your head down. There's his problem. And this is what he's doing now is he's just simply trying too hard because the goals aren't coming. So now it's just run with my head down and see what I can do. And he's not doing anything because he's running with his head down. He can't see anything. So give him a break and give me some Reece Nelson on the left. If all you want from your wingers is to drive down the wings, but then cut inside on their strong foot, that's Reece Nelson down the left. He can cut inside on his right foot, and off we go. But Reece Nelson does something that Martinelli doesn't do, and that's right now, keep his head up. So, yes, he has the pace to really take the lid off a defense, all right, if Arteta will let them play that way. But he's keeping his head up. He can cut into the middle on his right foot. He can also distribute. He can also, be a playmaker from out wide. Reece Nelson has that ability, and we gave him a new contract. So now it's like, give you a new contract, but we're not going to play you. Well, so you've given him a new contract, and you're tanking his value. How does that work? That's not good business. So from many different standpoints, I guess, since OG Ryan disagreed with Reece Nelson not being the next obvious choice, I'm going to use Reece Nelson as that player that I want to see more of because now that's exactly who I thought you were going to go to.
He was an ex-obvious player. I was trying to bait you. No, I agree. I think another thing that I really like about Reece Nelson over Martinelli is Reece Nelson has that bravery to cut inside. He likes to go at the 18-yard box from the top, not from the side, which is kind of what Martinelli wants to do. Which I don't hate it because we've had a lot of good chances when Martinelli beats that fullback and gets inside and gets inside to your left side. So I don't hate it. And I've said in multiple shows, I think Martinelli is a key to our attack, and I think he's ginormous in getting us into that box, scoring goals, creating stuff. I think he's very undervalued in that role. But I agree with what you're saying with Reece Nelson. I love Reece Nelson. I also wouldn't hate if he, gave Saka a rest and we played him on the right.
I think you play both sides. Yeah.
Or even an Odegaard role, depending on how our formation goes out. This sucks because I thought you were gonna take my bait and then not take Nelson, but you double flipped me, so then you took Nelson. I'm gonna say.
You know what I was gonna do? I was almost just gonna go with the opposite of Ryan, just be like, well, I said I wanted to see less of David Ryan.
That's right.
So I want to see more Aaron Ramsey.
Back in my head, like,
oh my god.
And I was gonna be well, one of my awards is kind of lame, and I'm sure I'll get yelled at. But I was gonna say Thomas Partey for this, but I'm not gonna say it because I mean you can't really. He's hurt.
Well, you can say you want to see more of him. Just stay healthy, so I can see more of you. I mean,
Right.
I mean,
I actually thought about that too. I was like, ooh, I'll go like
But
go
actually-
off the reservation here and go Thomas Partey because he's always
Yeah.
hurt.
I feel like it's kind of a lame answer. But what I'm gonna say is for another interesting little, I guess, a little mini debate. I want to see more Fabio Vieira, and the reason why I want to see more Fabio Vieira because I want to know if he was a good buy or not. I want to know if he can make in this team or we need to sell him. I want to know if he can make in this team or if we need to send him out on loan or what. I want to know what we're gonna do with him because I don't know. I don't know what he's gonna offer. He had that one good game. What was it, the one game second half against Fulham? I'm not buying into the hype. Everyone seems to love him now that he's been hurt. Apparently he's been fully fit in Dubai. He's been training really well. I want to see more of him because I want to know what to do with him. Not necessarily because of what he can offer. Because I honestly don't really know what he can offer. Just because he hasn't really been given too much of a chance. He had that one game against Fulham and then he had a few starts after that and kind of just faded into the background a little bit. Again, because I don't really know what he brings to this system and to this 11. And not saying it negatively. I don't know. I don't know how he fits. I want to know how he fits. But it's going to be tough in the Premier League because I think he's lighter, and we're going up against Red Oaks. They talked about this on the Arsenal fan division how like he's bigger than what I already forgot his name, the guy in City, Silva. And Silva bodies these people like they're nothing. So I mean, I want to see what he's made of. I want to see what we could do with him, whether it's a loan or a sale or maybe a nice option to bench, or maybe he can make his name in the 11.
He was one that I was thinking of. I didn't say him because he's hurt right now. So, but we're thinking the same way. Do we do it? Let me ask you this. My answer would be different for this. I don't know about the two of you, but I'll ask. Would your most disappointing player so far this year be the same as the player you'd like to see less of? Actually, I don't think it would be.
No. Well, I wrote a couple answers for each. I actually wrote Saka for this, but I don't think he's my most disappointing player.
I think can we agree that the most disappointing? I think the most disappointing player. I would like to think I wouldn't get much of an argument from either of the two of you on this, but it's got to. I mean, it has to be Martinelli, right?
Oh no, I don't agree at all.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Well, I'll go first then since I put his name out there. Gabriel Martinelli is my most disappointing. I just the goals have dried up for him as they have for everybody. But I said this last year too. So this is a recurring theme with him is he's a ball hog. We've all played pickup basketball with that one kid that just won't pass you the ball. It doesn't matter what he does. He's just not going to pass. And that's where he is right now. So like, to me, Martinelli is, did I freeze? I'm frozen again. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I'm frozen on my end. Ryan, text me when I go black. One of you.
Yeah. Just keep going.
He's now hurting us because am I gone?
You're black, but you're going. No, keep going. Keep going. You got this.
He's hurting us because he's dribbling so much now that he's dribbling himself out of possession. He's dribbling himself into a turnover, whether he gets to a corner and loses possession, whether possession is taken off of him because he dribbles himself into a double team or a triple team. He hits the touch line and the ball goes out. He has nowhere to go. That's my problem with Martinelli. So it's not just I'm disappointed because he's not scoring, but I'm disappointed because beyond that, he's not creating anything else either. And that's the most disappointing thing for me. So I'm back. I don't know. Can you guys see me?
I think they just hate that you picked Martinelli. But
yeah, right. The technology gods are smiting me right now.
I'm actually to push back on that. I don't necessarily think it's all his fault. I think there's times where he does dribble too much and he gives the thing away, but I think he's just trying to create so much. And again, I saying it ad nauseum now. I'm a little upset that Real Ryan said this, but it's our attack is choreographed. So I don't think he just doesn't. He's trying to just force the issue, and it's just like we know what he could do, and since we have the ball in possession and we gradually bring up the field, he's not useless, but a part of his game, excuse me, is like kind of taken away because if we had to talk about, at least for me, if you told me if you had to think of the first Martinelli goal you could think of, my goal is his goal against Chelsea, where they had a corner, and we countered, and Martinelli made Conte slip. Was it Conte? I think it was Conte slip, and he just ran in, had the one-on-one, and scored. We don't play the counter. We don't, we don't have any of those breaks in play where we can do something like that. And I think Martinelli is perfect for that. Or the goal against Villa, where Emi Martinez went up for the corner. That was last season. Went up for the corner. We brought it back, sealed the game for us, made it 4-2. It's kind of it's a little bit of his game. It's been taken away, and in that little bit been taken away of his game, you kind of see. I don't want to say we see a little bit less of a use for him, but he has to kind of be creative in other ways. And the way we've been playing, especially the last 4 games, it's very hard for him to do certain things. And while yes, he could beat a fullback like there's no other, like a Saka on the other side, teams know what we're gonna do. So they've been doubling on Martinelli as well, and that's making it tough on him. And that leads to kind of what you're saying, like dribbling out of possession and kind of giving the ball away and looking, very void of ideas. I just think we need more control in the middle of the pitch. I think we need to make more of an effort of going into the middle of the pitch, which is why I really want to see more Partey, which obviously he's hurt, and Reece Nelson, because I think those are players that are having that show that bravery and have that willingness to take us into. It's definitely it's funny. I've been playing soccer all my life, and yes, and I said soccer, so deal with it. And what's the half circle called on top of the 18? Isn't it called something, or is it just called it's like the 18-yard box and then that little?
Yeah, I mean, people call it the nipple.
Okay, there you go, the nipple.
I
I want to see us go into the nipple, which always a fan of that.
I gotcha.
Yeah, not called the nipple. It's called. Anyways, yeah, I don't. Killing us that we're not trying to make. We're not trying to make any kind of plays or organization in that middle of the pitch because, again, I think we just rely on Martinelli and Saka for too much.
Yep.
Real Ryan, did you want to rebut my most disappointing, or do you want to give us your most disappointing? Or
no, I don't want to. I agree with what you're saying, and I think my most disappointing player is the reason why a lot of that is happening. So,
okay.
Thomas Partey isn't taking care of himself. Okay.
Wow. Okay. I did not see that coming.
He's the most disappointing player of the season because he is the key to, I think, of a lot of what we're looking for. And I've seen a lot of compilations. We all love Declan Rice. I don't have one bad thing to say about him. But I think him coming into a new team and a new system and a team that is going places, I don't think he wanted to be as risky as he maybe can be. And maybe he doesn't have those passes in him. But I think that what Thomas Partey can do in terms of the reverse ball, the line breakers, is the reason why we're not unlocking our wing players, especially Martinelli. Because Declan Rice is a very good ball carrier. Like, he can pick it up and he can run through and carry the ball, to where you want. But Thomas Partey plays the ball into those spaces for us, and he was the reason why I think our offense really hummed. And we haven't gotten a chance to see really what it looks like. And it's been disappointing to me because it's hard for me to really dig into how bad it's been about our goal output when, I mean, there was times last year that we were saying he's the best DM in the world. So having not been able to have him available, I think is the reason and the core reason to a lot of our issues. And it's been really annoying that we can't get the guy on the field. So I'm hoping that he's able to come back, from the Dubai training, and I doubt that he'll play against Palace. I don't know where he's at in his recovery. But I think that honestly is a really big reason why we're not seeing what we see. We've talked about it before. Like, we're one of the slowest teams in buildup, right? What are we, third slowest? Or something like that. Second.
Or no, third. You're right. Third.
Third?
Burnley and City.
Yeah. So it's just like, and I think you guys might have seen some of the stuff doing the rounds. Like there's some passes that Declan Rice will not play, but Thomas Partey would. And that's what, can get our attack moving much quicker and get us down the field faster. So I need him to be available to actually see what that looks like. The fact that he hasn't been, and it's just been, basically the entire season that he hasn't played. Look at the Community Shield. Literally comes on, pings a ball to Havertz, who knocks it down. You know what I mean? Like, and Trossard scores, right? Like, it's just like that. It's instant. Like, I don't know. And I love Declan Rice. I don't know if he can play that ball. Maybe. You know what I mean? He might not be willing to make that pass because, that's just not in his game. But I feel like that's been disappointing for me, is not seeing him. And I feel like that's been a big issue for us.
I agree. And the only thing I want to add to that is the absence of Thomas Partey leaves exactly kind of what you're saying with, Rice doesn't want to make those passes, but with Rice not wanting to make those passes and have that progression in him, that leads to something that I've been bringing up. Odegaard now is almost playing where Partey is, and that's taking Odegaard out of the front line. And I think Odegaard is a very underrated goal scorer for us, and his shooting is immense. But now he's kind of playing the Thomas Partey role, which if we're going to have someone play the Thomas Partey role, I would love for it to be Odegaard.
Right.
Odegaard I don't think it isn't as good with recovery as Partey is, and he's not Declan Rice. But I like it. But it also takes so much from our attack, and I think that's a reason why our attack is not clicking in all cylinders. And hopefully, when Partey gets back, I think we'll see more from Odegaard in the goals. But speaking of goals, my most disappointing thing. Funny, I had Partey, but I am going to say Gabriel Jesus. I think we bought him for his, he's been there. He's won the trophies. I think we bought him to kind of elevate us to a different level and kind of bring that experience to Arsenal that we've kind of lacked because, us being the youngest team in the Premier League. And he fits the system. And I do. I think he fits the system. But whether he comes out in the media and he says, "Oh, finishing isn't what," I don't even know. He said something about how we can't finish goals. I don't know exactly what he said, but you're a 9. Whether it's, oh yeah, but I'm not traditional 9. I'm not traditional striker. I just want more from him. I think when he first came, to Arsenal, we saw a lot of crafty, creative dribbling in the box and a lot of beaten man for that, and then scoring goals and just getting stuck and winning balls on the nipple or near the nipple. But I haven't seen too much of that. I haven't really seen. I've just really just kind of fighting with center backs, which I don't hate, but it's not enough. It's not enough for what we want to do. And, us going into such a scoring slump, him being the experienced Man City player that he is or was, we need to be better. And I think he needs to be better. And not saying I blame him the most for our scoring woes, but I think he has that experience and he's seen more. He's been with a team that's won and a team that, Man City hasn't been perfect. So, especially when he was on the team. So, yeah, I am disappointed with Jesus. And I also think that when we look at, transfer rumors and who we want to bring in and what we need to do to improve the team, I think, at least for me, it starts at the striker position.
I agree. that was my second right there.
Yeah, I can't disagree with anything you said there. So I'm gonna
Can
go
we get
first on this one.
positive?
What's that?
Positivity. I said we getting
Yeah.
positive now, or what are we
Yes,
doing?
yes.
Get some
So
positivity.
I am gonna go first on this one because I'm gonna pat myself on the back a little bit. In the season preview show, when we kind of went through like who did we think would be all of these things, my unsung hero was Gabriel Magalhaes. And my unsung hero is still Gabriel Magalhaes. I do not think that he nor William Saliba are the clear-cut best defenders in the world individually, but as a tandem, I defy anyone to name a better defensive tandem at center back than those two together. We saw at the beginning of the season that he didn't get 2 starts. He didn't start the home opener against Forest. He didn't start at Crystal Palace. And then when he came into the game, or when he got a start against Fulham, the 2 goals conceded notwithstanding, things changed. And we were a lot more comfortable at the back with him being paired with William Saliba, because it was Saliba and I want to say it was Ben White that were partnered at the back in those first 2 games when this Thomas Partey at right back experiment was going on. So ultimately, Gabriel Magalhaes, if I were to buy a jersey of anyone now of a player and get a name on the back of it, it would be him. He's a guy that just goes under the radar. And you know what? I don't want anybody to talk about him, because if nobody's talking about him, to me, he's doing his job. And I think by and large, all season long, he's done his job, period. And he's done it well. So my unsung hero, sorry if I stepped on toes or anything there by going first and just proclaiming that I will go first. It's my show. It's a no-nonsense show. I'm not going to take any crap from anybody. Yeah, my unsung hero is Gabriel Magalhaes. Who would like to go?
Well, I'm going to go second and say Saliba. No, I'm not going to say Saliba. I'm just kidding.
I mean,
I'm just kidding.
I would laugh at you. Go ahead. Go second,
that's good. Honestly, I think low-hanging fruit's not what I really want to say, but I think they're just too obvious. So I wanted to kind of go outside the box and have a discussion, because I don't think both of you are going to agree with my unsung hero. I think the chat might lambaste me for my unsung hero. I know one person in particular who I don't even know if he's watching. Fuck you, Connor. He will. My unsung hero is Kai Havertz.
I knew that was coming.
Listen, I'm not saying he's the best player. I'm not saying he's our player. What is it? Player of the half season. I'm not. But if we're talking about things that are done on the pitch that aren't getting credit, players in the pitch that aren't getting credit for the jobs we're putting in, I mean, it's 100% Kai Havertz. He's been getting ridiculed all season about how he's not putting the ball in the back of the net. He's not doing this, not doing that. Defensively, he's playing. If you look at all the stats, he's better in all stats than Granit Xhaka. And everyone's like, "Oh, we miss Xhaka. If we had Xhaka, we'd be top." Someone said that recently. I don't know who said that. Someone said if we had Granit Xhaka, we'd be top of the league. I think it was Charles Watts. He said if we had Granit Xhaka, I have no doubt we'd be top of the league. Yeah, maybe, but Kai Havertz is a better lefty than Granit Xhaka. He's just not putting the ball in the back of the net. But as we see with the other players on the pitch, they can't do that either. So for people to be sitting here and just ridiculing Kai Havertz for not putting the ball in the back of the net, but it's okay that the other 3 attackers that are more up the pitch can't do it. It's okay. No. I think Kai Havertz is playing a great job defensively. I think he's leading the team in interceptions and recoveries. He's just immense in that midfield position. Do I want him to put the ball in the back of the net? Obviously. I'm not saying no. That he missed a lot of. I think it's a big reason why he was getting roasted, because he was missing very easy chances early on in the season. I think he's done better, but to be in those positions, you have to be smart. He's a very smart player, very high footballing IQ. And I think to get in those positions is just a testament of how good of a left aid he is in a system that he did not know before we signed him. So yeah, I think Kai Havertz is only getting better. And yeah, my unsung hero is Mr. Kai Havertz.
You guys are punks because those are the only two we have. And I mean, Saliba,
you can say Saliba.
I know, but like
everyone.
everyone knows. So it's the thing for me, and like this isn't gonna be. It's weird because he's not playing well, but like you guys all grew up playing sports. Like I just have to give, and he's been playing horribly, but I have to give Ben White some credit. I don't think we realize how difficult it would be to play in the fucking EPL when you're hurt. And not only that, the position that he plays, he has to go run down the right side and overlap Bukayo Saka on the reg. And I just want to give him it's hard to say unsung hero because like we know he hasn't been playing well, but I think he is playing through an injury, and he's not. The second part is there's no one to replace him. Like he doesn't get a break or a rest or anything. He has to keep going out there and play 90 plus minutes in the toughest league in the entire world on a team that's trying to win the Champions League and the Premier League. So I want to give him credit, and I'm just praying that he can get healthy because I think that has been a big miss that he hasn't been himself. So I'm just going to give him credit for being a warrior and just continuing to come out there and try his best, even though he should probably be taking a breath. Because, I mean, no Timber, no Tomiyasu. I don't think Kivior. I mean, we can't even play Party at right back because Party's hurt too. So, yeah, I want to give him credit for that. Unsung hero, it's kind of hard to say that because he hasn't been playing well, but I think he might be in the second half when he's healthy.
He was actually my second. Like if I would have gone anything other than first, and one of you would have taken Gabriel, my second was Ben White, because nice. I don't think that dude gets near the credit that he deserves for the job that he does. He's not I don't know that he's not the greatest defender in the world, but he's serviceable. He does everything that is asked of him, and he may not do it great, but he does it well.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree with anything at all that you said. In fact, I agree with everything you just said. He deserves his flowers for sure because he does a job usually through some pain because he's definitely playing hurt. So
definitely.
It's so funny too because I just want to say really quick, it's just funny how like when we did the end of season awards last season, he didn't get mentioned by anybody in any award, and I think I said at the end of the show, I was like, dude, Ben White has been immense for us, and like he's just Mr. Consistent, and he's just always there, always putting in performances. The only reason why I don't think of him is because I just think he's playing hurt, and it's I'm not a professional footballer, I don't pretend to be, but like tell people you're hurt, like get it fixed instead of kind of playing this half-assed football because he hasn't been playing well. And it's like, I want you at 100%, like final. So I don't need you playing at like 70, 80%.
But see, this is where
we have other people that can play his position. We could do other things without him. Will it be tougher for us? Yes, it will. But I want him to be 100%. And him playing at the rate he's playing in the last few games, I don't like it.
Yeah. Good time for the break to come so that hopefully he can get some rest and get healthy, because I agree with everything you just said there too. The last award will be the player of the year, our MVP, if you will.
Not doing most improved. You don't need to, but
I want to hold off on the most improved.
I had a crappy answer, so we don't have to do that.
I didn't want to do most improved because we're only halfway through the season, and
that's fine. I like it. All right, play of the season.
If
any of you guys have different answers, then I
know.
just end the show.
Sure.
I'm going first though because I let all of you guys
Wait,
go first.
Oh,
Now this is my time.
Well,
See, I told
wait,
you guys,
wait,
I
wait.
was giving you guys softballs. I'm going first. Player of the half season.
But hang on.
Muhammad Al Neni. Oh, what? Sorry. Okay.
Oh man, you took that. I mean, we're going to talk about it, but do we disagree on who this is? I
no,
mean,
I don't think it's.
I can't think of anyone else that I would give that I would name as.
I think if
MVP.
anybody had anybody else, I would be like, come on the show right now and explain yourself, and I'll just ridicule you because you're wrong.
Yeah,
but
there's a 1 and 1A or 1 and.
I don't think there's a 1A. I got to be
I
honest.
think there's literally
there's
one,
a
and then
1A.
there's like 11. 11 is like second place. I don't think.
I think there's a 1, and then there's just everybody else.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what, Ryan? Let us know who your 1A or 1B is.
Well, okay, so and
we know who number 1 is. Who would be the others?
Yeah.
Well, we just talked about how we have the best defense in the league, and I mean,
fair, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's and I know that it's a partnership, but I mean, Saliba's been is
I guess okay, fine, okay. I won't ridicule you. That's actually good. It's funny because my most improved was going to be the 2 center backs, which they didn't really improve, but our defense has gotten as a whole just so much better. So yeah, I could see you saying
we all know, and we're gonna let Ryan go do his thing. So I'm looking forward to it when he talks about the player that we all have. But I mean, if I had to choose, not who's obvious, I mean, fucking William Saliba's incredible. I mean, and I don't want to discredit Gabriel Magalhaes either because those two together make. I mean, but I mean, it's just like sometimes I'll watch these games and I'm just like, what is going on? Like he's just so incredibly composed in situations that for someone of his age just shouldn't be yet. He's got techers like on the ball. I mean, who does these things back there? Tracking people down. I mean, shutting down people. I mean, we talked about City, but again, this is another time that Holland had a shot when Saliba's on him. I mean, so yeah, the guy's incredible. And we saw what happened when we didn't have him last year. So that's why, I'm not saying we could, luckily we got the guy we did, who Ryan will talk about here shortly, because we'd be in a lot of trouble too. But like, we know what happens when we don't have Saliba.
Yeah. Go ahead, OG.
All right. Well, I mean, player of the season, easy. Midfielder. He's just.
You already said his name.
Fuck! I was see why you always. You're like my wife. You always cut me off. I was actually gonna pull you one way and be like, "Oh, midfielder, yeah, it's Declan." No, it's Mom on that. No. But to all seriousness, I mean, I think we knew when we signed him he was gonna be good, but I will go as far as to saying he is the reason why we are where we are. I think he's put in. What game he had one game where he wasn't great, but then even in that game he had a really few. It might have been funny enough. I think it was the Fulham game. He had a couple pieces of good defending, but yeah, I mean, Declan Rice. I want to pay West Ham more money from my pocket. It's just the kind of player we've been looking for. I mean, people say probably since Vieira left, but I mean, yeah, maybe. I do want to see more Thomas Partey in him. So maybe Thomas Partey gets healthy, they could show him a thing or two. But yeah, I mean, he's just the engine. He's the engine that never stops. He's everywhere. I honestly I don't even know what to say other than he's everywhere. He does it all. He's that kind of big physical midfielder that we need that could still kind of help not run the attack, but kind of lead into our attack. I think he needs to be better with the ball, passing the ball, potentially scoring and assisting goals. I think he could definitely help more with that. But yeah, dude, the bigger the game, the better he plays. And with big goals against Luton Town and he scored that big goal against Man U. I mean, he's just everything you want in a player, and hopefully the players can learn more from him and absorb his. I don't want to go as far as say greatness, but yeah, I absolutely love the player, and hope more from him. And I think, like I said, I really hope that Thomas Partey coming back, it really unlocks something in him. And hopefully with Thomas Partey coming back, it unlocks something in Odegaard, which unlocks something in Rice. And seeing them three start as a midfield three in the Premier League, I think is going to be something. And
I would cry.
I'm excited. I wouldn't cry, but I would definitely be over the moon excited and watching with bating breath.
Yeah, dude. So good. And that goal against Chelsea too, which basically started the comeback.
Yeah.
You
want to
I don't
get
know
on this blowjob too, Tanner? Come on, set him off. Let Rice know.
I don't yeah, I don't know what else to add on there. I think you said it perfectly. He's an absolute stud baller. I think he is that player, and not every player is this. He makes everyone else around him better. That's just the player that he is. And it's I can give you comparisons. You know, I don't think he's the best player in the world. I don't think he's the best player in the sport. But what he does, he's on par with Michael Jordan. He's on par with Mario Lemieux. The players around them are just better because of what those players do. And look, and Thomas Partey can be that player too, because him coming back can unlock even more in Declan Rice. That will unlock more in Martin Odegaard, that in turn can unlock more in Ben White, which in turn can unlock more in Kai Havertz or ESR, whoever's playing that left 8 role. Or if it's going to be Declan Rice himself playing the left 8 role, whatever, Martinelli, if he, whatever the case may be, there are just so many superlatives that you can throw around, and none of them are going to be wrong. So I think for me, the biggest thing is we've seen his greatness, and the only thing I would add is just his ability to make everyone around him better. Not even just the midfield, because the things he can do in tracking back and playing defensively, he makes the back line that much better. So that's all I have. Real Ryan, did you want to tack anything on there at the end?
No, yeah. I mean, you guys hit all the notes. I mean, for me, it's just there's two things. It's the intangibles, which I think you guys talked about. He just seems like a guy that, is vocal, will lead by example, and just the presence. When I see him, I'm not trying to relay it back to last year, but I just feel like when he's in the starting 11, which has been basically every game, there's just a level of comfort that I have that he's there, and that he'll always do the right thing, that he'll fight for his teammates and track back even when he's 60 yards away. Like he'll sprint back to recover. It's just like it's stuff like that makes me feel good, and that's why for me and what we want to do this season, that's why I don't really feel nervous going up against really anybody, because he's there. If we were to play a big team and he wasn't, I would be petrified. So
Yep.
It's just that presence that he's there, Declan's there, like we're good. He'll manage, he'll figure it out, he'll make sure like bad things don't happen. For me, that's the biggest thing. This isn't even, just the on the field stuff, but that's just how I feel about him in general is that. So he's everything I could have ever dreamed of in that signing. And it's just so funny. And they say it all the time. Like no one's talking about that price tag anymore, are they? Everyone else gets that, right? They're still talking about Caicedo and what they paid for him, and even Enzo gets shit for how much they bought for him. But Chelsea does stupid things like that. But I cannot believe we're talking about someone that came at that price tag where he's could potentially be worth more. You know what I mean? We could have paid 115, 120, and it still would have made sense. So yeah, it's been awesome, man. It really has.
Yeah, I think the best way to maybe sum that up is it's you're so comfortable and calm when he's in the lineup, when he's on the field. It's not even it's not so much what he brings in the comfort level when he's on the field as much as it is what isn't brought when he's not there, because we don't have anyone else in the lineup like that can just really stand in the middle of everything, literally in the middle of a shitstorm, and just go, I got this. I got this. So yeah, so Declan Rice is clearly and I don't think it's close.
Is it
Williams
crazy that when
Saliba,
Real Ryan was talking, all I could think about was on netting? He's an engine. He's there. He's there for the team. He doesn't put a foot wrong.
Dreaming of El Neni.
I'm like, this is
listen, man. We are the.
This is on netting.
I am putting it out there now, and I hope he sees this, but we are the official YouTube show of Muhammad El Neni.
I don't know. Real Ryan might not be a fan of him. We don't know. We haven't put him through the test yet.
We will soon. But you don't have to be a Mo El Neni fan. You just can't shit on him. I think that's really the only stipulation that we have. And whenever Ryan and I are giving him his flowers, you kind of have to agree with us.
Yeah.
You're really not allowed to argue.
Always.
So, but anyway, El Neni El Magico, Sasky Gooner, absolutely. Real Ryan, give me your final thought here. Midseason review. Anything you want to say on Crystal Palace in the upcoming second half of the season?
No, I mean, I think we talked about it. I think we all agree that Dubai, the break came at a good time. I feel confident that Arteta will have a new wrinkle for us that I think we'll see, and I think we'll be better off for it. It sounds like we got some guys coming back healthy. So I'm optimistic, and maybe after talking today, maybe I changed my tune a little bit on us needing to have the cushion to feel like we could do it. Maybe chasing for a young squad is better, right? So maybe we can be excited about that. So yeah, I mean, Palace, just win, right? Like, because it just feels like these next 4 games we have, I don't know the order, but I know it's Palace, and I know it's not in this order, but it's Palace and
Forest,
West Ham,
Palace, Forest, Liverpool, West Ham.
Yes, it feels like we need to win all of those games, right?
Yeah.
Project, 12, right? So yeah, I think we can, and that's I guess I don't want to take this season as a whole. I kind of want to break them up in these little 3 to 4 game like blocks, not including Champions League. But yeah, I feel good, man. I do. I think we're gonna be good.
OG, why are you laughing and shaking your head?
I'm laughing at
final
Sniper. I'm laughing at him. So that's another thing too. I'd like to say, and I'll say it 3-point. I'll say it to you guys. I think I've said this on this show. I've done it, but I haven't. I'll never bet Arsenal. I just can't do it. I have bet on like props, like I bet on like goal scores and stuff like that. I can't. So 3-point Sniper, shout out to you. I can't do it. Which, if you guys are fans of college basketball, he is the guy. Go to him for all your college basketball needs. I've been getting to college basketball the last like 5 or so years. Yeah, go to 3-point Sniper's Twitter. His Twitter is 3-point Sniper. I think he's got an underscore at the end. Please check him out for college basketball. And yes, Gonzaga over is chef's kiss. My final thought is it's going to be a tough game against Palace. We usually tend to beat Palace when we're home, but they always play us hard.
Yep.
And it's always a tough game. They're kind of going through some stuff with Roy, and their team's not really clicking. But they have pieces. They have Eze. They have Olesi. They have players that I would love to have at Arsenal. So it's going to be hard fought. But I think there should be no way. Again, you say this and it somehow happens, but we have all the tools, all the pieces, even with the way we're playing right now, to beat Crystal Palace. I think we'll find the back of the net for sure. I think the Dubai trip is done us well. I think, like Ryan said, if these reports are true that ESR wowed people in Dubai, then hopefully the other people as well performed, and we'll see performance from them. So I do think we'll see performance, and maybe not 5 goals, but hopefully we see at least 3. I just hope that we can really get at their defense, because their defense is not great, and they haven't been scoring lately either, which bodes well for us. But like I said, they have those guys. The only thing that I'm happier about, which people might be like, so what? Jordan Ayew always finds ways to score against us. I think he's going to be an AFCON, so he's not going to have his way with us. He's like 50. I don't even know how he's still in the league. But for some reason, I think it was last season, he scored against. I'm like, this guy's done. He's washed, and then he puts one in on us. I'm optimistic as always. Until five minutes into the game, you'll see my Twitter, and I'll just be screaming that we're never going to score again. We're never going to score again.
I'll do my usual here. Shout out the chat. Bronx Gunner Bow was in there. Sasky Gooner, also Moss Sports World. 3-point sniper. Type in for me who the best college basketball team in the country is right now, because it's not UConn.
Dude, $2 beer nights, like you can't do it every game, because you do it every game, it's gonna wear off. But $2 beer nights, and it was syllabus week for colleges, so they had nothing to do. That was sucks, because I'm living in Connecticut, so I can't bet UConn. But that was just. I wish I went to the game, but I had soccer. But yeah.
Brady's Banana was in there. Scrolling back through here, I don't want to miss anybody. Arse Bros Ryan, that's a new name in there. I haven't seen that one before. Anyway.
You're a liar, anyways.
That too. Anyway. Thanks, guys, everybody, for being out there tonight. Good stuff from the chat. Thanks to everyone new who jumped in here and joined us today. Thank you for the subscriptions. Thank you for the thumbs up. If you haven't left a thumbs up yet, please do so now. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please do so now. If you would like to know when we are live, click the little bell icon and never miss a show. It's been good stuff. This is the Midseason Review and Award Show. We hope you enjoyed it. We will be back next week. We'll chat with, hopefully, Glenn. Hopefully he makes it home. We'll see how the trip went. We'll talk Crystal Palace.
Maybe.
We get 10 days off again. That's crazy. We play Saturday, but then we don't play again until Tuesday.
I know.
So, hey, not a bad thing. We're playing one game really in a month almost.
I just like watching us play. I know it's not good for us playing, but it's.
I love watching us play, and I miss it when we don't. But I'm trying to see the positive in this, and the positive is that hopefully we're getting some rest. We're getting some bodies healthy again, and we're going to start to see a full. If there's a 25-man squad that Arteta had in mind at the beginning of the season with everybody healthy, hopefully we're getting close to that. So, that's all we got for you. Thank you guys for being here. If you're watching on the replay and you've lasted this far, we appreciate that as well. And please drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys all very much. OG Ryan, Real Ryan, always a pleasure. It's been good footy talk, everyone. We'll see you out there.